the past few days, we have the past few days we have worked with the Mobile Loaves and Fishes Community First Village. Yes.
And then we have created a company name and a logo. And the message by the name and logo is that there is always a place for you. And we have chosen the color red because it means love and warmth.
And then we get to interview a person who named Billy, and this is Billy's mood board. As you can see, he likes PlayStation, Minions, Superman, and a bed. And these are the colors that Billy likes. He also likes a mini fridge, Scooby-Doo, the movie Sin City, plants, and a cat.
We have found 4 reasons for homelessness in the US. The first reason is economic inequality. In the US, the upper class have a greater benefits like taxes. But the US system is generally unstable for the poor people.
And the second reason is poverty, and the working class don't have the same opportunities as a rich family. And many Americans has the ideology that you have to be able to handle yourself. And then there's a big difference between rich and poor. As example, are you rich, you mostly hang with the wealthy people. And the third reason is lack of health for mental health. The American healthcare system is based on insurance, so if you're not insured, you have to pay for it yourself, and it will be expensive.
Yes, the 4 reason is background. It has an importance on which family you grow up in. If you grow up in a New Zealand family, there have you better condition for the future. Or if you grow up in a efficient family, for example, if you don't grow up with a father and you grow up and your mom is a drug addict.
Then we have two diagrams, and the first diagram shows chronic homelessness in the US, and these are people who have a mental illness or have been away from home for a year or more.
Yes, and the second diagram, here we see a diagram of homelessness in the US. In 2021, the number was lower because of the pandemic, counting disruption.
Also have a bit about Billy's story. He grew up in he was born in Hawaii, but he grew up in Atlanta. Growing up was hard for Billy. He didn't really like school, and in school he also had a couple of bullies. And then we asked him how did he end up in Austin. Billy, he had the bad friends who were bullying him, and then he got stabbed in the back, which led him to catch a ride with a trucker, which then ultimately led him to San Antonio, where after he walked to Austin.
And then we asked Billy about how he learned about the community village. And he said that he learned about the village from a lady who he went to church with, and where she had shown him the videos of the village. Then they went to the center and applied and got it. And living there means a lot to him, having a place to live and not having to worry about safety from different kind of animals when he lives under a bridge.
Yes, and then we have created the house. We chose to design the house based on how Billy's home looked. That's why the walls outside are a light gray, as you can see. And the roof is made out of wood. And that's for symbolizing life itself. And the plant outside is just for some decoration. And then we included the red chair outside to symbolize that there is always a place for you to sit. Yes, and the inside of the house is also inspired by Billy's home. We chose the colors blue, gray, and red because of Billy's passion for Superman. And again, based on how his own house looked. We chose a wooden floor to create warmth, and the blue color because again he likes Superman. And the bed sheets are also red because of that. And then, as you can see, the house is very simple. So we incorporated simplicity and organic design, like the wood floor, and the rug is made out of recycled fibers. And on the window there is window film instead of well, curtains. Yes.
And then we also have 4 personal things for Billy. The first one is the PlayStation, which he uses a lot in his free time. And then we also have the Superman logo, which is someone who he idolizes because he wants to help others. And then we also have his cat, which is his favorite animal. And then we also have the Scooby-Doo, which he loves to watch and play with.
I just want to say, first of all, the design is beautiful and very simplistic. I think that really lends towards the mental health issues. A lot of the time, the clutter can be sort of the biggest overwhelm for a lot of our neighbors. Although it doesn't look like there's a ton of storage, could you speak a little bit about the storage capabilities of the design?
Yeah, it's because my computer couldn't fit it because it's too old. So there was a little many problems. So yeah, it's simple.
Could you speak a little on the accessibility part as well? If Billy were to have something happen where he would need a wheelchair later on in life, how could we rearrange the furniture in this room to better accommodate him?
We haven't thought about that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Knowing Billy and the things that he loves, have you thought about ways that Billy can personalize the space? I think it's great you left it very simple, and I am wondering what you envision, knowing him, how he can make it his, personalize it.
As you can see, there is a lot of space. For example, right here. So there's room for some stuff he likes, if you want to put it in there. And he has a little table there, and can also put stuff on there or in if you want to. Yes. Or maybe some in the closet also, a little bit.
Did Billy talk at all about how many visitors he likes to have over? Are there ways that you incorporated that into the design as well to allow for room for people to come visit or to facilitate community in his home?
That's how many visitors he normally has, so we don't really know.
You did mention he had a concern for safety. Did he just speak about the animals, or did you also incorporate things in the design that speak on safety from people, from weather, for any other kind of conditions?
Important thing for him was to stay inside and not have to worry about animals. That was his biggest concern, just to have a roof over his head so he could be alone and safe at night and not be afraid of the different kind of rats and spiders.
As far as you know, the window film, does it help block out our harsh Texas sun? Is it? I'm sure that's part of why you chose that. I'm curious what you've thought about that.
It was just a temporary solution.
So I see that the organic design was a very specific choice. Can you speak about the motivation behind that?
The motivation behind the organic design was it was organic and it was pretty. Yes.
Great. One more question. What was the most transformational thing that you learned through the interview process?
We get the question again.
A transformational thing, the most transformational thing you learned in the interview process. So something that was surprising to you, that opened your worldview, that changed the way that you think about homelessness.
What's one of the biggest things you learned from the interview process?
Probably the fact that more homeless people live together on the bridges. They tend to stay together when they live alone.